Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome into your daily read for Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. I, of course, want to thank you so much for joining me for this reading. We're going to begin and pull from the When My Soul Whispered Oracle deck. I always feel like for such a small deck, it's a very long name, but let's do some shuffling and see what comes out for us. To begin for Wednesday. Okay, wow, that was a lot. They're saying key wording, decisions, receptivity, as I could barely speak and say that, empathy, and manifest. I do feel like there's a focus on you receiving downloads and giving them back out to the public or to somebody of importance, or putting it to use for yourself. I do feel like you're absorbing information in other ways as well throughout the day, being very observant. I do feel like there's a focus on nature as well, your connection to the weather, but there's also a focus on your inner compass and a decision that you need to make throughout this day. Or a past decision for some, but it feels like a lot. Could be thinking about a multitude of decisions throughout your lifetime and what you need to decide moving forward. And Spirit saying, as long as you, per usual, trust your intuition or get back to trusting your intuition, or start to, you're golden, okay? And this decision's going to obviously look different for everybody. But we have empathy because I do feel as if there's a focus on the fact that you are feeling very empathetic throughout this day, being able to quite easily, for a lot drawn to the reading like myself, put yourself in other people's shoes in a very grounded manner. Even though that image doesn't really speak to a grounded vibe to me, at least, but I do feel as if all the meanwhile, it's going to be a day where at certain points, or if not the full day for some, you have to or choose to, or both, decide to put yourself into other people's shoes, understand what they're going through. You could be thinking about one, if not multiple other people in your life or at a distance from you, even strangers, are going through. I feel like getting the image of somebody strolling out and about in their neighborhood or just in their city, county, whatever kind of place you live, and or could even be in the neighborhood or area that you work in, or visiting, and you end up observing somebody, say a homeless person or something of the sort, somebody who isn't as put together as you, or somebody, maybe struggling to an extent, and you can't help but think about what they're going through potentially, and this in comparison, not to be disheartening, but it makes you feel pretty grateful for what you have at hand, how far you've come, what you've overcome, putting things into a healthy perspective. But I do feel like there's a focus on your ability to manifest, all right? And I feel as if all the meanwhile, you are going to feel as if you are truly blossoming throughout this day. There's a focus on your transformation, on how you're doing better than you once were, regardless of how far back that rewinds for some, whatever chapter we're highlighting in your mind, regardless of what you start to think about and compare. It's like, I'm blossoming, I'm growing, I'm changing, I'm evolving, I'm manifesting what I desire, and I need to continue to or begin to believe that, because that's part of the process of seeing it come to fruition in my external reality. I do feel like that you're very zoned in. I'm getting the color yellow of significance. Is of significance. Now, with the empathy card having a turtle on it, I do feel like there's a focus on one level, you kind of slowly in divine timing manifesting something to come to be. It's like, I want to fast track towards it, but I'm kind of feeling comfortable or just at ease either way. But I do feel like Spirit saying in certain moments when you feel comfortable or you feel at ease or you feel certain levels of importance come to be, or success come to be, achievement come to be. It's like, do you see why you are where you are, what you're wrapped up with at this point, why you're wrapped up with what you are currently? There's a reason. It's purposeful. So just trust that you are meant to be where you are, and you will manifest where you're meant to be, or what you're meant to be wrapped up with down the line, or what you're meant to gain, however it looks for you. But I also feel like with the turtle, on a separate note, there's a focus on you moving quite slowly. I feel like some of which are just not even realizing how slow you're migrating, accomplishing. It's like, it just feels like even if you're not feeling completely comfortable or at ease in that moment, it's like that might be part of why you're slowing down. You know what I mean? That does happen to me occasionally, but it reminds me of me strolling around the body of water I have right by my house with the fountain in the middle of it. And I just realized I was moving like a turtle, like a snail. And a woman looks at me with her dog, and I feel like she thought I was going through something, and I wasn't. I just was moving so slowly. I feel like I was going through, they're saying spiritual awakening, which I don't feel is the case. I was just going through some healing, okay? But let's continue with that said and done and pull from the light seers. Okay, stay grounded. It's your duty is what I'm hearing. Interesting way of wording it. It's your duty to yourself and to your well-being to continue. I do feel like you could be doing something like I was just shuffling, and then your awareness visually and even mentally gets directed towards something else, and that's purposeful. So just trust that. I feel like it could feel like a little bit of an all over the place kind of day as far as your focus, awareness, accomplishing. But again, you will be where you're meant to purposely in those moments. The Chariot, the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and the Page of Pentacles, you might feel as if there's a connection to your money, an option that you wish to see come to be as far as a manifestation, if you will, a new job, a new investment, something tying into your money, and you don't feel like you have a lot of options, or you're not going through a specific, a specific balancing act that you expect to be going through moving forward, or it just might not be happening throughout this specific Wednesday. But there's a motivation throughout this day that feels quite peaceful and less stressful than in comparison to past days or just past chapters of your life, past versions of yourself potentially. But I feel like you need to be accepting what's at hand as realistic, okay? However that comes through for you. The Eight of Wands. I do feel like there's, again, a lot coming towards you, kind of a Seven of Wands vibe, but communication being a true focus throughout this day towards oneself, right? Your self-talk being a true highlight, your intuition talking to you, spirit talking to you, other people communicating through their tarot readings, through other types of online content or movies, TV shows, articles, you name it. I do feel like you're needing to remember how good looking you truly are in the midst of all you're getting done throughout this day. So don't be surprised if there's a push by spirit at a specific point, if not multiple, to just get up and go look in a mirror, right? Or look at a picture of yourself, or even, bear with the background noise, or look at your reflection in selfie mode on your phone, okay? Either way, I just feel like you just need to remember how good looking you are. Not sure why it's coming through. Now, there could be some background noise you're dealing with, some disturbances, but as you can see, it's not going to get the best of you, even if it normally would, all right? Yeah, with the Devil card here. I just feel like as well, yes, on a larger note, you need to be and you will be pushed to be grateful for and to recognize the positives of your reality, what you're wrapped up with, who you're wrapped up with at this time. But with certain devil, as they're labeling it as a devil, certain negatives, imperfections, like that was not ideal for me in the middle of a reading, even though it was purposeful because it brought on several messages. It does remind you why you desire something different or more for yourself, or an adjustment, change, improvement, okay? And so I do feel like all the meanwhile spirit's saying this will help you keep your perspective healthy, but still make progress and keep your goal in mind, okay? Your manifestation in the end, all the meanwhile. But I feel like for some of you might feel like your spirituality and or your empathic abilities kind of control you. Could be thinking about the control factor or factors within a work environment or somebody else in your life. But I do feel like that's just a very small moment throughout the day. Let's continue pulling. The Two of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the Page of Cups being separate together. I do feel like there's a focus on your connection to yourself, your connection to a specific spirit for some, but I feel like there's a physical connection with you and somebody else that's taking a highlight, even if it's not present throughout this day. They could absolutely, your connection with them could come to mind. And I feel like all the meanwhile, 1006, look up that angel number meaning. This is going to be of significance in regards to you needing to bring them forward with you. Okay. And this may shock you for some, because I don't know that you would have planned otherwise to even consider bringing them towards this new manifestation or the following chapters with you, right? Giving them a seat with you along this crazy ride known as your life, your path. But Spirit's saying more and more moving forward will make you realize or highlight the fact that this person on a multitude of levels has a lot to offer because they're changing on a core level. Okay. And sometimes it's hard for us to notice how much people are changing, especially if they're not fully comfortable sharing or making us aware of it, right? Or if you're not physically with them 24/7 or at all. But there is significant hermit mode time throughout this day. You're glowing. If you look at that imagery, there's a focus on the night sky, your connection to it, but potentially to the sun as well, and how all of which helps you glow and come to certain realizations, connections, and remembrance kind of moments. Anyways, but I do feel like there's also a focus on the fact that you're a leader. And as the Spirit guides you, you guide yourself. You're meant to guide others in certain ways, in your own individual way. And that will come to mind, even if you're not sure how that's meant to come to be or evolve moving forward. We're going to finish up with the tea leaf card as we did for the previous daily read, as I feel out which energy feels the best. Okay, they had to help me a bit. They felt kind of similar. To wrap this up for Wednesday. Ooh, victory in some endeavor and excitement. I feel like this could be in regards to recently, if not, you're being forewarned or reminded this lies ahead for you. It doesn't feel like a very thrilling, exciting kind of day, but it feels like you're being prepped for and making certain adjustments, changes, steps towards this victory and excitement all the meanwhile. But to know confidently and to be reminded that this lies ahead, that feels so damn good. I can just tell you that much. And it will give you a sense of ease and comfort and relax your mind and maybe fears and worries all the meanwhile. Okay, there's a disappointment being highlighted in a friend or a lover, but I don't feel like that's the biggest part of this day, but they are pushing me to hold these up together. Okay, that could be this person that comes to mind, but it could be somebody completely separate. Apply it as you may. But birth or conception of a child or enterprise, and I want to say maybe just a hobby or a project, a side hustle, if you will. It could be an announcement might come into play, and I do know how this is going to apply to me. They're saying keep your ears open, but as well, the bridge card talking about successfully overcoming a problem, and we will end the reading on that. All right, so I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy your Wednesday, and I'll definitely see you next time.